Good morning, chapter leaders and SIG leaders. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate everybody's time this morning. We'll get moving here shortly. I'll just start with a little bit of our standard housekeeping, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, and then we'll start rolling here. So first off, we do have an hour, and we'll try and make the best use of that time as possible. If we happen to be able to wrap up shorter than that, then that's fantastic. We're happy to take questions anytime through the session. If you have a question, the optimal way is to use your GoToMeeting applet panel and click on the raised hand or question and then type in your question that way. Stephanie will be able to pick up those questions and interject with them on your behalf. Partway through, we are going to roll through and allow everybody an opportunity to speak. One of the items on our agenda for today is to actually do what I'll refer to as a virtual roundtable, where we'll actually ask each of you to introduce yourselves, simply because we've grown so much in the last year that I think there's probably a few folks who haven't had the opportunity to meet, at least not physically yet, so we'll make some use of this time to do that. I think that's all the housekeeping items we have. Stephanie, did I miss anything?
No, they are good to go.
All right, excellent.
Just as a reminder, enter your questions in the question pane, or you can raise your hand and we can unmute you as well as we go through this. So I'm looking for you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So let's move it along then. There we go. So it's Valentine's Day. Thank you very much for spending part of your Valentines with us. We love hanging with you guys. We probably don't say it enough, but thank you. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for your time throughout the year that you spend supporting Vivit and the Vivit user community. Our agenda for today, as I suggested or stated, we're going to start with a virtual roundtable where we'll do some introductions. We'll move into some updates regarding chapters and special interest groups. We'll talk about our new speaker bureau, and then we'll move into some updates around HP Discover 2012 Las Vegas, which I believe everybody should have gotten some emails about already, but we'll make sure we have an opportunity to discuss that and cover off any questions anyone has. I see we do have one question popping up already. Stephanie, is anything we need to jump on?
No, we're good. Thank you.
Nope. Okay, we're good. All right, awesome. Thank you. All right, so with that, we will move into the virtual roundtable section. So what I'm going to do is we'll go through your names in the order that they're showing up for me, which is some sort of hybrid between alphabetical and chronological. But what we'll do is we'll ask you to share your name, the chapter or special interest group that or groups that you're leading. Share with us a little bit about what your personal expertise is with HP software products. And then the last thing we'd like you to share with us is any content development that you've done, white papers you've written, plugins you've written, anything interesting that you've done with HP software or HP software services, and any relevant public speaking that experience that you might have, whether it's at your local chapter, any other groups or institutions that you've had some experience chatting at. It's a good opportunity for the other leaders on the call to get a sense of who they can call on out of the leadership community to help possibly present in webinars and local chapter events. So with that, what we'll do is we'll go through the list. I'll call out your name and unmute your line and ask you to answer those 4 questions. And if you wouldn't mind doing that, we'd certainly all appreciate it. So first on my list is Brad Clark. So Brad, are you there?
Yes, I am. How did I know I'd be first? Hey, Jason, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you.
Good. So yes, I am Brad Clark. I work for Herman Miller in Zeeland, Michigan, and I represent or co-lead the Michigan chapter along with Rocky Pisto. My HP software experience, I've been using the operations or traditionally the OpenView products since the late 90s, and still tend to focus in the operations area and those products. Wow, public speaking or developing content. That's a tough one. I did formally present a topic at an OpenView forum event back in Montreal. That was the early 2000s, I believe, along with Christy Phillips, who works with me. And that was around the Service Desk product at the time and how we were using it to implement change and configuration management here at Herman Miller. Since then, I've done various things at my church and on the Vivit board as well, and working with various folks in the Vivit community. I think that's it for me, Jason.
That's great. Thanks, Brad. So Brad, I'll put you back on mute. And Denver, can we hear from you?
Yes, Jason. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
My name is Denver Meeks. I help Rocky Pisto with the Midwest regions, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky. Expertise, OM, all your performance tools, used it at JP Morgan Chase, AT&T. Rocky and I go way back. We're kind of the older folks in the groups. Contents, did white papers in Montreal, and that was for the OM implementation that HP put into JP Morgan United States, and also with the how we connected everything together from a mainframe perspective to a desktop. And again, it's been a great ride for me. I enjoy Vivit, and looking to get back out on the road with this new show we're putting together. And that's it.
Fantastic, Denver. Thank you very much. And I'm going to move on to Derek Hornby. Can you hear us, Derek?
I'm sorry, I was myself muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. I'm the co-leader of the HP Project and Portfolio Management SIG, which is a global SIG, not a tied to a geographical location. I'm a consultant, or I have a consulting company, I guess you would say. And obviously my specialty is in the planning, installation, configuration, and application of HP PPM. Usually, and also with upgrades, maintenance, and so on. HP PPM has changed a lot. I started working with it in version 7.1, and we're up to version 9.13 now, and it's really gaining a lot of functionality as it goes along and becoming a quite, a fairly powerful tool. And HP is gradually integrating it with other enterprise tools, such as ALM. There's an integration to Boxy now and things like that. So it's really growing. And I think that I've also dealt with other PPM products, such as Clarity and so on. I actually think HP PPM is the gold standard for portfolio and project management products. So I'm very pleased to be associated with it. When it comes to publishing and so on, I do a fair amount of public speaking, but I haven't done any lately on PPM. A lot of it's been on IBM products, which I shouldn't say probably, but I have expertise there too. And I'm published in that area. But I'm going to do some publishing on the latest version of PPM hopefully soon. So hopefully that will satisfy my lack of writing on that subject.
It's fantastic, Derek. Thank you very much. So, Derek, I'll put you back on mute now, and I'm going to, oh, there we go. And I'm going to move on to Evan. Hello, Evan.
Hi, good morning. My name's Evan Hamilton. I'm kind of new to this whole process here. I was asked to, or I volunteered to help for the Denver chapter, and I'm co-leading with a guy from Cabela's in Nebraska named Mishi. And I'm also contributing on the global SIG for the UCMDB with several people out of Europe. I'm based in Denver and looking to find ways through this community to help grow this chapter because it needs a little help. My company's CraveTech. It's a formal HP software integrator partner. We don't sell software, so I'm not specifically technical. I don't write white papers, and I'd have to say my last formal public speaking event was in 1987 when I was a class president and delivered the speech at graduation. So it's been a while, aside from you know, typical business sales presentations to clients and those types of things. So I'm brand new and looking forward to learning.
Well, welcome aboard, Evan. Thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here.
All right, Evan, I'll put you back on mute. And I'm going to move along to Jeff. Are you there, Jeff?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me all right?
Absolutely.
All right, good. There was a question on my PC microphone. So Jeff Conley from the Ohio chapter. I'm co-leading that with a whole cast of characters, including Rocky, Denver, Pam Eiffel, and Bernard Semzak. Really, software expertise around, for my side, is around Quality Center, soon to be implementing ALM, Quick Test Professional, and am now arming myself to be dangerous with Load Runner. As far as you know, public speaking or things like that, you know, we've done a couple of presentations or whatnot with the Ohio chapter leader. And various other non-software related public speaking engagements in a couple of other different venues. You know, content development or, you know, white papers. Unfortunately, no white papers as of yet. You know, hoping to sometime in the next week to 10 years, you know, something like that. And then content development really has been just primarily around like reporting functionality with Quality Center.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. That update from you. So, Jeff, you're muted again, and we're going to move on to Laura Walker.
Hi, everybody. This is Laura Walker. I work for Stratacom, which is an HP partner for ITSM. We're a legacy Peregrine partner, so we're involved with Service Manager, Asset Manager, DDMI, so forth, everything in the ITSM stack. I'm involved with quite a few different chapters. My goal is to get together ITSM user group meetings and find enough people who are willing to meet on a regular basis. So I've done quite a few events around the country. The places that seem to have enough interest to keep going regularly are my Chicago chapter, Dallas and Houston, Kansas City. We partner with Viral to do some events out on the East Coast, and we're just starting up to Southern California as well. So I've kind of been around a few different places. We also coordinate with the Service Manager Special Interest Group to do webinars from time to time as well. And I've been a Vivit chapter leader for the past 2 years. I started in March 2010 with leading my chapters. So hopefully we'll be able to continue expanding locations where there's pockets of users. My expertise is with the ITSM stack, as I said. Much like Evan, I haven't really developed a lot of technical content. I'm the business development director, so I'm not necessarily a technical person, but Stratacom has released quite a few white papers in our industry, so I actually wrote them up, although the expertise was not necessarily mine. So I helped develop content, white papers and blogs through our website, and it's been published elsewhere. A lot of my public speaking is kind of dated. In high school and college, I was involved with a lot of organizations, and I did a lot of speaking then. In my career now, most of the speaking I've done has been to my Vivit chapters, doing the overview of Vivit, interviewing user panels that I put together for my events. And then I guess if you could count it as the Vivit chapter leaders meetings, I've done some tutorials on how to do virtual Vivit events and stuff. So kind of some virtual speaking experience in there. So I think that sums me up.
Great. Thank you very much, Laura. All right. And moving on to Mark Ford. Mark, can you hear us?
I can.
And we
can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I'm Mark Ford, and I am a co-leader with the Vivit Carolinas chapter. I've been here a little over a year now. Was a co-leader with the Iowa chapter prior to that for about a year. HP software experience is mostly with the testing side. So I worked with Quality Center for the past, I don't know, 3-4 years, and have worked a little bit with QTP and with a little bit with the Load Runner and the Performance Center as well. But mostly lies with Quality Center, and hopefully we'll be getting some ALM experience here as I upgrade us to ALM hopefully later this year. As far as content, I contributed some customer information to an HP white paper once, although I didn't get any credit for it, but I did at least get some of my revisions and content material in that particular white paper that was on different best practices for implementing Quality Center. And as far as public speaking, nothing really outside of just presentations at work related events and presentations at Vivit-related events on various upgrading Quality Center topics and those types of things. And I think that's about it.
That's great. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
And I've got Mark back on mute, and I'm moving to Naveen. Hello, Naveen.
Hello.
We can hear you, so if you want to... Yep, absolutely. Go ahead.
Great. I'm very new to, okay, first of all, myself Naveen, and I've recently taken up the New Delhi chapter based out of India. I just got this invite, and I took this liberty to join the first virtual roundtable in the Vivit community. Talking about my experience on HP software, I have worked with the data center automation line of solution, and I have been presenting those solutions across to the customers in India and Asia Pacific. And regarding the public speaking experience, yes, in my current role, where I take the cloud solutions to market, I do have opportunities speaking about HP strategy and solutions from the cloud perspective to various audience, and I really love doing that. On the contents which have been developed, yeah, I've worked with again HP software to build TCO and ROI kind of calculators for the data center automation line of solutions. Yeah, that's a brief about me, and I look forward to learn a lot more in the Vivit community and bring enough business back to HP software.
Great. Thank you very much, Naveen. It's great to have you on the call. Thank you for joining us. All right. Next up, I have Sandeep. Looks like we're having a little trouble unmuting Sandeep at this point in time. So I'm going to move forward and to Tim Hubbard, and Sandeep will come back to you in a little bit and try you again. Tim?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. So my name is Tim Hubbard, and I'm chapter lead of the Connecticut chapter, HP Software Expertise. Actually worked for HP Software for about 3 years, and then after that, for the past going on 3 years, have worked for an HP Software implementation partner. As far as expertise, we have practices, and I have extensive expertise with HP PPM, Executive Scorecard, ALM and Performance Center Load Runner, BSM solutions, and increasingly the data center automation solutions. As far as content I have developed, much like one of the other partners who's on the phone, I haven't developed any myself, although my practice leads have developed a good amount in terms of public speaking experience. None specifically for me as it relates to presenting outside of large customer demonstrations and discussions. And that sums it up.
Great, thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate that. We had Wendy on here, but she seems to have dropped off the call. So we'll go back. So hold on, I'm just going to mute you, Tim. We're going to see Sandeep. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, this is Sandeep Jain here. I am looking to volunteer for the Silicon Valley chapter and just trying to see what it involves. In terms of the background, I am with a company called OpsHub. We focus on integrating all the IT internal systems and enabling the whole ecosystem to work collaboratively. Public speaking, not on HP stuff, but I've done a bunch of stuff at Oracle, and I used to work for Oracle and spent a lot of time talking about their distributed infrastructure and things like that.
Excellent. Well, we're really glad you could join us, Sandeep. I hope maybe we can give you a little bit more insight into what it is to be a chapter SIG leader, and certainly invite any questions or comments that you or anybody else has. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. That looks like everybody through the list. So again, I really appreciate your patience, everyone, in doing this. Hopefully that was an exercise that was of value to you, so that we can get to know a little bit more about each other, and a couple of folks who haven't had the opportunity to interact with the rest of you yet, and as we continue to build the community. So there's my segue. Speaking of building the community, Vivit is growing. Good news that we're still hearing that message. We have 11 special interest groups, 56 local chapters across 21 countries. So that's 56 active chapters, and we'll talk a little bit again later in our slide deck about what it means to be active, just as a reminder for you all. But quite a variety of special interest groups, and it continues to grow. I know there's at least one more that I don't see in the list that's in the process of being formalized and going live, possibly up to 2 more. So I would expect, with any luck, by the time we're in Las Vegas this June, that'll be up to lucky number 13 special interest groups, and not even sure how many local chapters we'll be up to by then, but it's great to see those numbers growing. So again, a thank you to all of you on the phone or computer, depending on how you're connecting, for your participation in growing the organization. I'll pause for a moment if there's any questions about the special interest groups or chapters growth. Again, if you have questions, either type in your question in the question pane or raise your hand. And so I'm not seeing that we have any. Stephanie, are we good to go forward?
You're good to go.
All right. So moving forward, let's see, large word map, very exciting here. What that's all about, if you'll just be patient with me for one moment, I will bring up a new application we've just gone live with. Hopefully everyone can see that on your screen. Stephanie, are we showing the map?
It looks great. You're on. Yes.
All right, awesome. It's always hard to tell when you're looking at your own computer. So what we've done is we've added, on the request of our leaders, a dynamic map that will indicate for anybody who's new to the organization, or long-term folks in the organization who want to be familiar with where our local chapters are. If you, on our site, go to the local chapters page, chapters and SIGs, and then click on the review the complete list of all local chapters, that will take you to this map. Below the map we have the complete list of all of our chapters by region. But again, if we go to the map, we have the ability to first of all zoom in so that we can not have so much overlay. Of course, very busy over here in North America, and since this is the North America call, I will focus in on here. Apologies, Naveen, not trying to ignore you. But if we take a look at any of the locations where we have a flag and it's clicked on, we'll bring up some quick information around that local chapter, including any relevant or lovely graphics that we have. Let's see. Yep. So again, a couple of instances there. And if you click on the image itself, what that will do will take you through to the page for that chapter. So it's an interactive way for folks to get a little more connected at the physical level. So if you are leading any of the SIGs or local chapters, and your chapter membership is interested in knowing about what chapters are active and what activities are going in other geographies, that's a quick way to find that. So again, something that was asked for by the chapter leaders, and we've been able to implement it, so we just thought we would quickly share that with you all. And I'm going to flip back to the presentation now. Yes, resume slideshow. There we go. Before we move on, I thought I would just do a reminder here as to what it means to be an active chapter and or SIG. And that means that we have an expectation that within a 1 calendar year frame there will be 2 events. Those events can be any of these 4 or more. Certainly don't limit your abilities by our imagination. But face-to-face meetings, webinars, roundtable discussions, or simply just meet and greet, any of those qualify as a chapter event or SIG event. So again, we just ask all of you that you try to make that minimum of 2 events per year. And if you're struggling in any way with content or location, etc., please reach out to Stephanie and myself, and that's what we're here for, is to help you guys out with that stuff. So, moving along. Actually, maybe before I move along, I'll ask if there are any questions or comments up to this point in the presentation.
Yes, there is a question. I'm going to, Denver has his hand raised. Denver, I'm going to unmute you. Okay, Denver, you have a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Being taken over the Kentucky chapter last year, it has been very difficult for me to find Vivit venues in the Kentucky region. Stephanie, you're very well aware of what's going on there. What in the future, as a leader, how can we leverage HP to find some of these customers in different venues?
Great question. I know this is one that that comes up in different forms over time. So definitely reaching out to Stephanie, who in turn will reach out through Susan and other folks intrinsic in the organization who are plugged into the marketing and sales groups at HP. We can raise the question of for specific sites and locations. So if I understand correctly, Denver, what you're asking for is to understand who the HP customers in that region are so that we can identify potential folks to help host meetings?
That is correct, Jason. It goes a little bit deeper than that. Is more of a, I don't want to know who their customers are. I would like to work with the HP sales folks in my region to be able to work with him and bring Vivit to the customers that they have. And it seems like that's a stumbling block that I've faced for now in Kentucky. Apparently HP has no customers down there, and I know that's not true.
Okay, so I guess there's probably a lot of detail we can go into, and I don't want to necessarily go too long into it right now, but I guess one of the questions I would have is if you know whether they're named accounts or if they're maybe more centrally held customer base, and that may be where part of the disconnect is happening.
Yes, I don't want to harp on this, but me and Stephanie's working diligently on that, and Stephanie, thank you for all your help. But again, as you well know, HP changes sales guides every 6 months. So when we finally get the information, the sales list that they give us, those gentlemen are they've moved on or are no longer with HP. So we'll address it later, and I don't want to take any more time.
No problem, Denver. It's a valid question, and it's we're working in the background on a variety of different mechanisms to try and make sure that we stay connected in with the sales organization, and we're finding it's very much, as you've expressed, like wrestling eels. So what we are very well plugged into the marketing group, and what we're trying to do is leverage those relationships over into the sales team. We are continually working on it, and certainly we ask for the patience, but Denver also very helpful for us to know when there's specific hotspots such as Kentucky where we need to try and apply a little more pressure with our partners at HP.
Jason?
Thank you very much, Jason. I'm trying to put a road show together, and I'm going to need this information. And again, everybody on this call, you'll probably be hearing from me. I would like to come to your chapters with our road show, so if you're interested, please let me know.
And Jason, Evan Hamilton has some helpful hints for Denver. I'm going to unmute him. Evan,
Fantastic.
are you there? Evan?
I am.
Okay, great.
You're right about the you're right about the churn with the sales groups. I have almost given up on trying to chase down that angle of it, and from that perspective, the named account managers are going to be relatively disinterested in trying to help the cause because they're going to be threatened by those of us in these positions that would potentially take away services business from them when they're incented from their quotas perspective to sell HP professional services.
I totally agree with you.
You know, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's hard to chase them down, and when you do get them, if they're still there in 6 months, you're lucky, and they really don't have a lot of motivation to help anybody other than trying to make their numbers. So well, don't feel too frustrated. I've been doing this for 7 years, and that's pretty much the same program, so get used to it.
Well, what I like about it, being in charge of JP Morgan Chase and AT&T enterprise management teams, I got the same treatment, so I don't feel so bad.
Yeah. I would suggest what I'm going to try to do is maybe start posting some stuff on LinkedIn, and maybe we can. I don't know if we can find a way to focus it geographically, but within those user groups.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
That's what I would suggest doing.
Yep. Thank you very much.
That's what I'm going to try. All right. Good luck.
Thanks, you guys.
All right. Do we have any more questions or comments or tips and advice to share there?
It's
nope,
all good, I think. Yes.
All right. So moving on to the next slide here, Speaker Bureau. So this is hopefully a somewhat relevant topic, while not directly about how we can get connected into the HP sales team in any location, more about how we can get content for our chapters. So we've been discussing this one, my goodness, long before I was on the board. We've been discussing this idea, and it's a reality. We've built up the back end on our Web 2.0 site. Our new site, because of its Web 2.0 features, allows us to really leverage this kind of technology. And effectively what we have is what will appear to be a survey where we will encourage anyone who is interested in speaking or presenting at SIGs or local chapters or webinars to populate some very simple information into the database. The database will then be searchable by all of you as chapter leaders, by topic, by HP software product, by physical or virtual locations, and a number of other criteria. So we're very excited about finally being able to deliver this long sought after tool for the chapter leaders. Hopefully it will start to make the process of getting speakers for your chapters and SIGs easier. There will be more information on this released in the February and March newsletters, so stand by for that. Stephanie and Susan will have that information out to you all in short order, but this is sort of the sneak peek to let you know that it is done, it is about to be released, and I did a little beta testing on it myself, and I was quite pleased with the way it's looking. But again, when it rolls out, we really do look for all of you, not only to help encourage others and yourselves, if that's where you're comfortable in populating it, but also look for feedback from all of you on the use and how, pardon me, how we can make it better. Any comments or questions on that topic before we move on?
You are good to go.
Good to go. Awesome. So just one moment, please. Sorry about that. So HP Discover 2012, June 4th to 7th in Las Vegas once again. First thing that you might notice here is a different look to the branding that HP has brought to the conference this year. White and clean and sleek is the marketing angle they're taking with it. So you'll find that that will be reflected in most materials, including the HP Discover website. If you haven't been there yet, it is up and is starting to be populated with useful information. So that's definitely a site to go to for information on the conference. What we'll do is we'll just spend a little bit of time now talking through Vivit's involvement thus far and what is planned with respect to Discover 2012. First important thing to share with you is that all Vivit members will be eligible for a discounted rate, a $300 savings on conference registration. So certainly encourage all of you to share that information at your chapters and SIGs. There'll be a registration code there that needs to be used, and that offer does expire on the 3rd of June. That should be lots of time, but as any of you who have been to this conference before know, you probably want to book sometime before the 3rd of June if you would like to sleep somewhere other than on the casino floor. The rooms get booked up pretty fast. So moving on, we are also offering once again the Vivit Advanced Training. We're very excited to be offering these 8 sessions being put on by a number of different Vivit and HP partners. There's just a real variety of topics. There are a few other courses that are being considered. More than likely what you're looking at is the final list, but there may be 1 or 2 more coming. I'm not sure what those are, but Christopher Scher is our director responsible for education at Vivit, and he is working along with Stephanie, Susan, and Jim, who has traditionally owned this one, to make sure that it is, again, at that same level of extremely high quality for the content. Probably one of the best $500 you would spend when you're in Las Vegas. And I don't see any questions popping up, so I will move on. And call for papers. So if you're interested in speaking at HP Discover, if you have an interesting story as a partner or a customer that you would like to share on your innovative use of HP software, the deadline for submissions is next Monday. Again, one thing that HP does ask, and they're socializing this concept more this year than they may have in the past, which is partners participating in HP Discover 2012. They're really looking for partners, whether it's through paper submissions or roundtable leadership, etc. They're really looking for partners to be bringing customers with them and having the customers co-present or co-speak so that it's perceived as a maximum value by the attendees. And yeah, I think that should not be a foreign concept to any of us, but just thought I would share that as well. It's important to know if you're interested in submitting. In conjunction with that, Vivit has been officially asked this year to help track chair for the 2012 event in June. This is great. This is very exciting for us to officially be back at the table. For any of you who may have had the opportunity to chair or participate in determining the topics that populate the tracks, this is a reasonable amount of work, so you do need to be prepared to put in a certain amount of effort for it, but the reward is excellent. First of all, you will get a full conference pass as a track chair, but subsequently you will also participate as a Vivit member in determining the content that is presented at the conference. So if you haven't done this before, don't consider that to be a roadblock. Certainly speak to Stephanie or myself. We can help you understand what this is about. Also Susan or Christopher Scher would be interested in working with you on that. And again, we're looking for either yourselves as the leaders or any of the members of your chapters who feel that they have a good insight into what HP software customers are looking to learn when they're in Las Vegas in June, and then participate. Then we ask you to participate in chairing a track relevant to you. Obviously, you would select the track that you would want to be participating in. We wouldn't ask you to participate in a track that isn't an area of subject matter strength for you. I'll pause here again just briefly to see if we have any questions or comments.
I'm not seeing any questions right now.
All right, thank you very much, Stephanie. Roundtables. This year, HP is incorporating the Vivit Roundtables into the session scheduler, which is excellent. We're going to be promoting these as much as we can, and we're also looking for the leaders to participate in leading the roundtables. Again, we do have the caveat that partners who would like to do this do need to have a customer co-presenting with them. I think everything else is on there. Deadline for submissions is coming up really fast, February 17th. So if you haven't already submitted for this and you're interested in it, I would suggest fairly quick action. If you are interested or you'd like to know more, submit the requested information to Stephanie. So as chapter leaders, if you will be attending the conference, there's a few things going on that we'd invite you to participate in. Monday morning, we're going to have the Vivit face-to-face leader meeting. This is a bit of a shift for us to move the meeting into the morning, but due to time constraints on the conference overall, we've had to fit a lot of pieces into the smallest place we can, or at least the most practical place we can. So we've been playing conference Tetris, and this is what we've come up with. Again, so breakfast, I believe, Stephanie, I'm correct that we will be serving breakfast at that Vivit Leader meeting?
Right, serving breakfast, right.
Okay, perfect. Just don't want to make any promises I can't back up here. Tuesday night, we'll invite all of you to the member appreciation party, very much like last year. So Vivit members and Connect members are all invited to Legacy Stadium for an enjoyable evening. That will most likely also be with the award ceremonies will be at the same time. Wednesday night, it'll be the Vivit Leader Night Out. So all of you who will be attending the conference as chapter and SIG leaders, please let Stephanie know in advance that you'll be there. There will be some more information coming out as we get closer to the event from Stephanie to get all the specifics from you. But again, just encourage you to come out and join us for an enjoyable evening out. Last but in no way least, if you are planning to come to the conference, we really ask you to consider donating an hour or two of your time during the exhibit hours to help out in the community lounge, representing your chapter or your SIG. Many of you on the call have done that with us before, and we always appreciate it enormously. It just makes it so much easier for Stephanie and Susan when there's more volunteers to help out. Undoubtedly, you will get a shirt or something like that as a thank you and to help you officially represent. But also this year, the community lounge, it looks like, and we're still in the early stages, but it will definitely be the Connect and Vivit community brought together into one large space again. But there's also talk about the social media bloggers lounge being either attached or very proximate to the community lounge. So lots of opportunity for all the social media folks who are invited to come by HP Marketing, as well as HP's own social media folks to interact with our community. Great opportunities in both directions. So that's an interesting little insight. But again, we just ask you when the call for volunteers does go out, if you can spare even an hour, it's enormously appreciated. And I mentioned the awards earlier. In the last year, we had 2 awards, the Vivit Leader of the Year, which is one of you folks. Generally, the Leader of the Year is from a customer organization who leads a chapter or SIG and promotes the ideals of Vivit. Champion of the Year, similar concept, but is involved with a partner organization or HP themselves. We do make that distinction for any number of reasons, but it also allows us to have 2 recognized chapter or SIG leaders per year who are promoting the ideals of Vivit and encouraging growth and community in the Vivit organization and with our membership. We have a new award this year, the Vivit Executive Innovator of the Year. We thank Paul Peisner for this suggestion, and there will be more information coming out about what that award means specifically within the next couple of months, and the same nomination process that we've used in previous years will apply to all 3 awards. So we will be looking to all of you to help us nominate our Leader Champion and Executive Innovator of the Year. Once again, I'll pause if there's any questions or comments.
I'm not seeing any, Jason, at this point.
All right, I've got the all clear from Stephanie. We're going to move on. So, there you go. Questions or comments? I'll ask once again if there's any questions or comments. So that's the end of our presentation. We really appreciate all of your time. Trust me, I know how busy each and every one of us is. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions or comments or feedback for us, please raise your hand. Let's discuss what we can right now. But again, myself, Stephanie, Susan, and all of the directors for Vivit are available via email for you at any time.
Jason, Denver has a question. I'm going to see if I can unmute him, but I'm not sure. So Denver, okay. Yeah, it's asking me to send him an audio pen. And Denver, if you can hear me, your audio pen is #43#. I'm not sure what happened here. Or if you can type your question in the questions pane, then we can answer it for you. Got his hand raised. I'm sorry. But hold on. Here he is. See, Denver?
Yes, can you hear
Okay, you have a question.
me? Not a question, a comment.
Okay.
First of all, I'd like, Stephanie, thank you very much for all your help you've given me last year and this year. Jason, you're doing a heck of a good job, and I appreciate it. Looking forward to see you guys in Vegas.
Well, thanks. Likewise, it's a pleasure to work with you and all the leaders. Great.
Thanks, Denver.
Okay.
Well, that was an easy one. Thanks, Denver. I love the softballs. You can pitch those to me anytime.
Let's see. I don't see any other questions.
Do we have Evan has an unanswered question? Has that been?
Oh no. Well, Evan, do you have any other questions? Are you good?
No, that was from before.
Okay.
Just
checking with you. Okay. Okay.
No
Very good.
I'm good to go.
Fantastic. Well, with that, we're basically up at the top of the hour, so thank you very much, everyone, for your time. I'll let you all go and enjoy your Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's, everyone.